Hello, hello. It is Laura Wilford. We're back with The Change Starts Here. Today is a great conversation about sacred geometry and quantum physics. I know everybody loves that subject. It's about our past, it's about our present, and about our future. And I can't wait to get started. Today we have Harita, London, Nicole, and Holden, your true and trusted people of information. And we're all
Yeah.
here waiting to tell you all about it. First person that I'm going to introduce, London. We're going to start with you today. What do you have to say about quantum physics and sacred geometry?
I think they're both really interesting. I think they connect to our lives in a lot of ways through science and religion and especially symbolism. I think that with um, sacred geometry, you find it a lot in symbolism, even in the Masonic symbolism and all sorts of things. You find sacred geometry, and but we're getting started first on quantum physics, and I'd like to get into like how quantum how supercomputers are using quantum physics to to do their calculations, because what they're doing is slowing down. They they get to a temperature so cold that the particles stop moving, and so before that particle can, like, Schrodinger's cat, is the cat alive or is it dead? Before it makes that becomes in its position, it's in a superposition, and that's why quantum computing supercomputers are so powerful, because it's like they're accessing different dimensions of all sorts of possibilities and then coming to a conclusion. So it's very interesting to see what they're doing, and what does that actually mean? Does that mean that all these realities do exist? That all the possible realities, are they really existing side by side with us? And what you know what can quantum computing, what's it going to lead to in the future? Are we going to Is this one of those things where we create some sort of godlike figure that comes from the quantum universe, and or is this something that we'll be able to control and use it to you know push human evolution to the next level? So I think there's some really interesting stuff, but some really scary stuff too. Like, you know, um, who knows what the future could lead to with, you know, being able to calculate things so on a scale that's, you know, 10 to the 10 of, the computers that we're using right now. So I just think it's really interesting. Um, and with quantum physics, you get to see the side of reality that isn't you it's not something you can just uh it's not the apple falling from the tree. It doesn't follow the same rules that regular physics follows. We had to write an entire new thing for quantum physics because it has its own rules, and it's something we don't understand. And I think that we're a lot more we're a lot more connected to it than we realize. And I think the more we understand it, the more we get into it, we need to be careful with what we're doing. Uh, so if anyone else has an idea on that or wants to comment on that, you can go ahead.
I have a question, Lyndon. How is that related to like AI with the supercomputers?
Yeah. So a supercomputer doesn't compute in the same way that a regular computer does. So we don't have like an AI connected to supercomputing. But if there's a way to what we probably will figure it out. And that's something that would be, who knows what would come out of that. That would be so powerful that, we it would surpass our understanding, I feel like. So yeah, that's really interesting. Once AI connects with the abilities of supercomputer, because right now we're really just able to do certain calculations and things.
Right.
What are you thinking, Harriet? What are you thinking?
It's really bothering me. I can't think of the name of the experiment that they did in Germany about maybe 5 years ago, where, gosh, they were working on this, and I don't even know how to explain the way that it looks, but it looks like the sacred geometry that we're also talking about. So it was a spiral kind of mechanism, and it mimicked um, these things that were in Mexico. If you ever seen like the sacred Mayan calendar,
Mm-hmm.
if you've seen how that looks, it looked almost exactly like that. And
Yeah,
people were, do you know what I'm talking about? People were
exactly. But
extremely fearful of this because literally what they were doing was launching it to see what this would do to the outer rims of this world. And it happened. And everybody was thinking, oh, you're about to throw Earth off its axis. I cannot remember the name of it, but it actually happened. So what I'm saying, London, is I think they are probably doing things a little bit further now than what we even know.
yeah, then what they always are.
They
They
always
always are. They always are. And I'm gonna find it before this is over with, so we can look that up, so I can give the exact name of it.
Yeah, and sometimes we find in symbolism over, you know, the history of humans, we see these symbols that reflect things we see in quantum physics and science and things we haven't have to have a microscope to see. We find, symbolism of we they people somehow knew how important these were. So yeah,
Yeah, very much so. I
like the Taurus, the Taurus toroidal shape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's been known throughout time, and it's a shape that is fundamental to you know everything. That's what electrons are shaped like. That's what keeps that's what electromagnetic field is around the earth. It's in a toroidal shape.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think too, for people who really, really want to learn about it in detail, there's a lot of movies out there, or documentaries, I should say, that will teach you about quantum physics. Because I think once you really start getting the grasp of it, the more it has a grasp on you. Would you guys agree on that? It's just so interesting.
Yeah.
mm,
London, here, London, let me think of the idea of if we were able to control those atoms in such a way. Do you think you could fuse things together? You know what
uh,
I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, yeah, technically you could if you could align atoms in such a way you could pass right. Things could pass right through each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you
I'm
could.
just thinking, be able to have that control.
hmm Yeah, I mean
You
that would.
could fuse things together.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
It'd be a little scary, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to mess with that.
Right. If you ever really get a grasp to,
But I mean, you can also get a welder and get something really hot and fuse it together.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah.
But no, yeah, there's if you could align particles, they're not going to just reject each other because nothing's really touching, right? Because it's the all the particles of your hand are rejecting each other, but there's a lot of negative space between all those particles. So if you could align, you could push right through either of your hands if you could align your particles. And it's such
right.
Mm-hmm. Everything would just need to match up. Yeah.
and that's more like harmonics and vibration, like you're vibrating at a certain exact hertz, or right. So if you had something that was that exact vibration aligned with you, it could could join with you or pass right through. So
Mm-hmm. That's how I always thought about it. Harriet, what are you thinking?
I was just trying to figure out that experiment because it's exactly, what London is talking about. And I just wanted to try to recall it so that people could.
And there's also CERN, the
Mm,
Large Hadron Collider, or whatever it is, the particle
Yeah.
accelerator that
Mm-hmm.
And we're now able to blast these particles together, and to learn from the outcomes. And now we just transported for the first time, I believe it was dark matter or something like that.
yeah.
We just transported, yeah, something like dark matter or dark energy or something, and it's just really interesting. It's like it's almost hard to believe. It's like, is this real? Did they really do this? But when you look at everything that goes behind it, it's mind blowing what they're doing. So.
I would like to go to one of those scientific labs where they work with all of this stuff and just be in the same space as them and hear them talk and hear the concepts and the ideas and learn about what they're doing and experiencing the everything that they're going through, because I know just watching some of the documentaries, I'm just like, I wish I could be in that room with them.
Yeah.
I could be the one to be there to see it actually happening. I mean, hearing it secondhand is great, of course, but being in the experience would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They delivered antimatter.
Yes.
That's what it was.
And some people you're watching these movies and you're not realizing what they're talking about, but this type of stuff that we're discussing tonight is always going to be somewhere hidden. They want to get it out there just enough for people to go, oh, that's interesting. It's not interesting, the things that they're doing.
Right. So when they come out with the stuff that they've done, we're not going to be like, what, huh? I'm like, oh, because we have some outsider's version of understanding of what it is.
Right.
And speaking of it, who wants to explain what antimatter is?
Yeah, I can explain it.
Okay.
I do have it pulled up right here. It helps a lot. It's basically matter where the particle has the opposite charge. So it's a form of matter composed of antiparticles, which have the same mass as ordinary matter, but it has the opposite electrical charge, and magnetic movements. So it's basically negative matter. And when it comes in contact with regular matter, that's why it's so crazy that they transported it. They annihilate each other releasing charged particles, basically radiation. So it can be extremely powerful. Um,
Basically, antimatter is the mirror version of normal matter.
yeah.
I mean, in real simplistic terms.
hmm Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I gotta look that up.
Yeah, because it says that every particle that we are made of, it has an opposite particle.
hmm
It was called Angels and Demons.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So you
I
guys
think I
have to
saw
watch
that too.
This
that.
Mhm.
duality is everywhere.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's
Right.
what it is.
There's that movie too that we're here and it's above us but upside down. We're in this world and there's another world above us but upside down. And the two kids fell in love and they had to figure out how to cross over to get into each other's world.
Wow,
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing.
So there's lots of movies that play on this idea, but it's like if people watch it and they don't really understand what they're watching, it's just like Nicole said, ooh, that sounds like a cool movie. They don't realize that in some ways that's a reality.
Yeah,
Right.
So it's always a good thing to think beyond the movie. And maybe, like we always say, do your own research because I think what you'll find, you'll be shocked that more of the things are possible than what you even think. So I think for a deeper understanding and connection to quantum physics, there's a movie or a documentary called Particle Fever. Particle Fever gives a great explanation of what we're talking about, and it's behind the scene look at what the scientists are actually doing and how they're working on it. An old movie, one that I personally watched, which is what initially caught my attention for quantum physics, is What the Bleep Do We Know? And that was done in 2004. That just seems like yesterday, but that was a long time ago.
20 years. That's,
2004, 2026. That's crazy.
Wow.
Another one is The Secrets of Quantum Physics. That was done in 2014. It's just like a really clear explanation for people to understand it's not all the deep scientific terms. It's just so that everybody can understand. Some of the movies is Interstellar. That was done in 2014. That deals with and based around quantum physics. Has anyone seen that?
yes, such a good movie. Y'all have to see, and it's stacked. The cast.
What's the name of it again?
Interstellar.
Oh,
Is it the
Interstellar.
one with Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is.
It's so good.
Another one they're saying is really good, and I think a lot of people have watched this one, The Matrix.
Oh, another one of my favorites. Yeah.
That, you know what? I've never really sat down and watched that, but now it's like everybody's going back and making reference to it.
Yep.
So now I'm more inspired to actually sit down and really pay attention and watch it because I have heard that it has a lot of reality.
Especially the first one. Watch the first one.
Yeah.
Especially the first one.
Mm-hmm.
1999, if you're looking for it.
Kind of like,
Coherence.
Bible.
What'd you say?
I said it's kind of like my Bible.
And Keanu Reeves is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have. I don't really watch movies the way a person should, so I got to really pay attention. Coherence 2013. It says it's low budget, but it's insanely clever. It shows how parallel realities work and how quantum possibilities in a very human way are relatable to what it is and what the movie shows. So, low budget, sometimes it's good to watch a low budget movie.
Hmm.
So, if you just look it up, there are tons of movies. YouTube has a ton of videos. If you really want to grab a hold of it, start to understand it, because I think for the future, it's really going to be of value to you to try to understand what's going on.
But what about, have you guys ever heard of people like this started, I guess, well, I guess the first on record event that happened when I think this guy was on his farm and he was walking on the farm and all of a sudden he just walked and he disappeared in right in front of his family.
And he showed up
I
in
heard of that.
the world.
Heard that?
No, he never showed up again.
Never showed up again.
Oh, wait. Okay. I'm not thinking of the same thing.
Yep.
Didn't that actually happen though?
Yes, that's my point.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to watch that movie for sure.
It's not a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that actually happened.
Wow.
The guy slipped into another dimension or something somehow.
Portal or a black hole or
I'll say more portal type thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the one he was out with his friend and walking and suddenly completely and totally disappeared. The friend couldn't figure out where the heck he was. And like X amount of time later, possibly a couple months, ended up somewhere in another country and he just woke up there. And
Yeah, so there are some that are like that. Yeah, it's a lot of these. And it's like they don't make the news that much, but because people report this happening,
yeah,
you know, it's on record, but it's because they don't know how to explain it.
right. And or they really don't want us to know,
for sure.
Yeah.
because then we'll start asking too many questions.
Or a lot of people trying to find that wormhole or that portal.
Mm-hmm.
Where all the
Yeah.
scientists are going.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, please take me. I want to be a jumper. Like, I want to figure out how that works.
Oh, that's crazy.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
crazy.
it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, let's move on to sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is very apparent and real. It's weaved throughout our lives in every moment of every moment, from the waves on the ocean to the trees to, oh my gosh, it's just everything. The way we're created, the way we're designed, our arteries, our heart, everything, flowers, butterflies. So without sacred geometry, we would not exist. Sacred geometry is also connected to natural healing, and people use it all the time for those purposes. So who wants to start out on one of my favorite subjects?
sure, I'll speak a little bit on it.
Awesome.
So I think the easiest way to explain it is just it's patterns, and it's patterns that are natural to our bodies and natural to this earth, and it's the way that we actually experience life. And people see them over and over again, and you know, some may dismiss it, but once you really start to see them, you can't unsee those patterns. It's just one shape repeating again and again. But once you do that, the structure itself becomes a complex design. And, think about it. When you're in school, you did this anyway. We call it what? Doodling.
Mhm.
The circle, and we kept going. And after that, we had this design. It's just because it's within us. And it's really kind of like the foundation of geometry, itself in a sense. And
Do
it's
you guys,
interesting.
you, not, let me kind of push out London and Holden here. Do you, us three women, who are a little bit older, do you remember the plastic, hard plastic,
The spirograph or whatever.
huh?
Wasn't it like the spirograph or something
Yeah,
like
you
that?
put the pen in it and you go
Yes, I
around and
loved
you
that.
all
Yep.
these sacred, we didn't know it at the time that it was sacred symbols, but you were creating
Yeah.
sacred symbols with this little art kit that probably most children had in their home.
Yep.
And you took different colored pens and stuff and make all these. I loved that. That was
Me
my,
too.
you know.
It was
It's
the
a
only time I was
part of you.
artistic.
Yep. Because it's a part of you.
Right. And they were teaching it without teaching it.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are cool.
Yeah.
I seen
Which
a
I think-
kaleidoscope.
A what? Kaleidoscope? No, that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but
Funny how you are gravitated towards those types of things.
that's what I was about to say. Yes, definitely. And so it's just different patterns. And again, they'll show up over and over again. And once you see them, you're like, oh, this is what they're talking about. And
Right.
and it's not because we're just copying something, it's just because we're observing the same thing because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I mean, think about it, it's also in nature, like your brain. What does that look like? It looks like a walnut, right? We eat a walnut, and they say walnuts are for help you with your cognitive.
Right. And walnut oil, you rub it on your temples and
Yep.
it stimulates the brain.
Yep. Stimulates the brain. Kidney beans look like a kidney.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Broccoli. If you split broccoli, it looks like your lungs. Stem, and there's a bunch right here, and there's a bunch right here. We can go a carrot. You cut a carrot to your eye. They always say eat carrots. So I'm just trying to show people patterns. Or the root of a tree, it looks like patterns in the river and flows, also like your veins.
Yeah.
We are sacred geometry.
We literally are sacred geometry.
Yes, we are.
And the spirals, the spiral of a shell also shows the spiral of the universe.
Yes.
Which also in symbolism, a symbol of the woman, they always have the little teardrop thing, and in her stomach is the spiral of the universe, which means that the woman is there to create new, which is exactly what the universe does. It creates anew. You see these symbols literally everywhere. The eye of Ra, it actually has to do with sacred circles.
Yes.
And all of that stuff is so connected. We're so used to seeing it. But if you don't know to look, you don't pay attention. From everything from sunflowers to the flowers themselves.
You see them everywhere. You see them in other countries. You have some here. I think they have them in the High Museum. They have them because it's like this. I think that They build their stairwell after that. It's so many different places. People will be, like I said, once you start to recognize it and see it, you'll be going, "Oh my God, that's what they're
Mhm.
doing."
Yeah, the Fibonacci sequence is
Yes,
yeah, it's
yeah,
everywhere.
everywhere,
Literally everywhere.
everywhere.
The pyramids across the world, they're sacred symbols, and they built them in specific spots because of the quantum physics and the ley lines and all of the different stuff. Everything is connected.
Yeah,
So they're very much placed purposely. They're built in sacred geometry um, ways. Triangles, pyramids, all these structures are a way to emulate the sacred symbols of
Yeah,
geometry.
nothing was by mistake.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
and so a lot of people said you have to think about your life, like think about whether or not it feels like you're moving forward or you're circling backwards. That's still a pattern. Or what if it was both? What if both are true? And
Right.
so these patterns are actually shaping you, they're not stopping you, you know, they're trying to advance you and allow you to grow. And you grow in cycles. It's just like, when you getting ready to conceive a child, there's a cycle of that egg, and that egg itself is sacred geometry.
Mm-hmm.
Splits and does all the things that it needs to do. It really has gone through that pattern. So
Mhm.
it's amazing to me. Sacred
Yeah, and
geometry.
breaking that pattern is, changing. I feel like seeing sacred geometry as a life structure.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, you move through life in cycles. You get used to that pattern, and then you break off to that next pattern, and you start something else. And you want to. I see what you're saying. You want to be conscious of that, so you can continue to ascend. And yeah, I just I like looking at it like that.
yeah.
You're ascending.
That's the way you need to look at it. And we call it, I don't know, chapters.
Mhm.
That's what most people say, uh, versus the next cycle in my life. And then
Mm-hmm.
chapters, you have a setback. And that's where I was saying, what if it's both? You have a setback, but those patterns is still going to make you think, and it's still going to propel you forward because that's how you're built.
You know what
So
Joel Osteen says? It's not a setback, it's a set up.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they're just saying too that I was just looking at this that people see meaning in patterns. So even in number patterns, they're giving an example of a lot of people are connected to 1111. Those are also part of that geometric pattern. And I never even thought about that.
11, 11, 2, 2, 2, 2 is the God pattern. I don't know if you know that. And that's, if you break those two down, that's 11, 11, 11.
Right, right, right. There you go, Nicole. There's some astrology.
Yep.
You know I love my numbers.
Yes, you do. That's why I brought it up. And they're saying that too, that the timing of events are all patterns.
Yes.
Timing of events, daily routine. They're saying simple things like your daily routines are all patterns. And that is really connected to what we're talking about is when people talk about showing up at the right time, people talking about conflict, boundaries, and unresolved, but they're patterns. They keep going through the same pattern. So I guess I never really put that in the same box. And I know what we're talking about, there is no box, right? But put it in the same box as sacred geometry.
Yeah.
But patterns are patterns, I guess.
I mean, even when we think about the universe itself, and we talk a lot about astrology here and the way they line up, it's not just because they happen to, Uranus just happened to see Venus and go, hey, what you, no, you know what I'm saying? Is there for a reason. And when they line up, certain things happen. But those things will not happen until that pattern of those planets align. So that's just how it works.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're connected to the solar system. We're connected to the solar system in like
Oh, yeah.
so many ways.
In so many ways, yes.
Mm-hmm. It affects Earth, and affects animals. It affects us. It affects what the sun is doing. If it's releasing solar flares, that it can affect even our mood, and all those things are it's powerful.
It is. And the more we discuss these things and learn these things, the better we can understand ourselves, and the better that we can understand each other. And the more that we realize we are all the same, there is no disconnect.
Right.
There is no disconnect. The only reason we got disconnected because of the earth shift and things broke apart, and you had some people over here on this side doing this side. That's it.
Right. Speaking of connectedness, and this is probably way out there, but did anybody feel off yesterday besides me? Or did everybody feel spectacular? I think
Actually, it was a good day for me.
I was
Was
gonna
it?
say,
Yeah, it was a really good day for me.
Oh, I love that. I think, was it yesterday? Does anybody recall me taking an extremely long nap and missing?
That was 2 days ago.
Oh, that was 2 days ago.
2 days
Okay.
ago.
Did anyone feel tired or out of sorts 2 days ago?
Oh, 2 days ago. I was like,
Yeah.
me and everyone else
Yeah.
that I was working with. But yesterday for me was a great day for me.
See,
Okay. That's really interesting.
and that's a pattern.
That is a pattern. I'm trying to think of yesterday. I can't even think of this morning, but I do know, yeah, Nicole, it was 2 days ago. And I just was not myself, not meaning I was grumpy. I just wasn't on top of it. I was tired and I took a nap. I literally took a nap.
You know what? You know what I see a lot working at a restaurant, which freaks me out. People don't really talk about this. Like I'll say it to cooks sometimes. They'll be like, "Yep, this is how it is." But people, and it's not just like, "Oh, it's hot outside" or "It's cold outside." Everyone wants to eat chili or something, but people order the same things on certain days. Like one day we'll not sell any spinach pizzas, but the next day every order will be everyone wants spinach on their pizza.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, I never. One day I won't sell any extra sauce, but the next day every single pizza wants extra sauce, and it's the strangest things, and it happens every day. There's something that's gonna be, it has nothing to do with the deals or the weather outside. I don't know what it is, but people will order the same things, and yeah, it's just
That's interesting,
isn't it?
Usually
That's really observant.
the same stuff. Yeah.
What? Nicole, what'd you say?
I said that's so observant of him. I mean, to recognize that. I mean, but it makes, that's really cool.
Yeah, London, you're walking sacred geometry. So you
Yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere. I just think it's interesting. To me, it's just more confirmation that we're just so connected in ways that we can't see. We can't, because we only have so many senses. We know there's more going on out there, but you can only see, you can only taste and smell. So like, there's just so much that we don't understand and we can't see, but it's really there, and sometimes it shows itself in ways that we can understand, and that's sort of those are the most interesting things to me. So.
And another thing is that we really have to take the opportunity and take the time to recognize it, to see things, and not be so blinded by just normal things that are going on in this world. You know, it's so much other things for us to take in. When we start doing that, I think our lives will be better. You know, get rid of the other crap.
Yeah.
Others scared.
That was almost too interesting, London.
Yeah, it was very, 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 very interesting.
17th, but I could have sworn. See, I think I'm in some kind of quantum loop. It just happened a couple days ago, didn't it? Like
Yes,
3 days
3 days.
at the most. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I see it. I just think it was on the 17th, maybe.
So they just reported it a couple days ago. I
Oh,
know
that's really
that
weird.
wasn't 2 weeks ago that I heard about that.
Maybe you jumped to a different reality.
I know,
I was
man.
just going to say the same thing, London.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I wish I could stay out of those wormholes. They are so pesky. Crazy. Oh my gosh.
So this guy finds this wormhole in his store that takes him back to 1963.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen it.
Is that
He goes to the restaurant, and he goes into the closet, and when he walks to the back of the closet, he keeps going back and keeps going back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you go back and forth. So I was just saying maybe that's what Laura's doing. Is she
yeah.
I do get lost in the closet sometimes. Oh my gosh. By the way, that was a good show.
Yeah, that movie was something else, man.
Yeah, I really like that movie. Oh my goodness. Okay, Nicole and Holden, you've talked the least.
Yeah.
And don't hang up, Nicole.
You were warned.
No, only thing I have to say is about that quantum physics. And when I was looking it up, it was talking about it wasn't different dimensions, but it was about the same thing happening, but just a little bit different right next to itself.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Like a parallel universe. Something like that.
Yes, yeah, like that. But there's multiple different ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about like when they looked at it, it changed. And if they looked away, it would be different. That?
No, not that.
Like there's another universe where maybe the only thing different is Holden has a different name. Or like like a parallel universe.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that different though. Yeah.
Or it could be just something could be opposite. Like instead of the one team winning the Super Bowl, another team would have won the Super Bowl that year type.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody won the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just depends which one, universe you're in.
But it's looking like it when you get deep into the quantum physics of it, that's actually like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, it could.
and like you can't see it, but somehow mathematically it makes sense that this did happen like that. But you would really never know.
Mm-hmm.
You guys saw stuff like that?
I think that's kind of what I'm talking about. I totally get that. I get what you're saying.
I mean,
Yeah.
and we're living there. We are living in a parallel universe right now. A lot of the talking heads that are just the gurus on this stuff, saying basically what we're seeing in front of us is what we see, but what's behind us is not that. It's not real because we're in. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Mhm.
Well, think
So
about
finish your
this.
sentence. You stopped in the middle of your sentence.
Well, because he was asking about parallel universes, and they're basically saying everything around us is really not real. It's only real because we brought it into where we are right now because we're focusing on it. But the stuff that I can't see behind me, like you not focus on that, so it's not there basically.
So is that what they say? If the tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound?
Yeah, yeah, that's basically what they're saying.
It doesn't have to make a sound, right?
Right. But we know it does. You know what I'm seeing in our
Yeah.
brain. We know it does, but
Mhm.
that's what they're saying.
Well, but if you think about it, you know how when the Indians saw the ship coming and they couldn't see it, and only one person could see the ship, and because they didn't even know what it was, they literally physically could not see it.
Interesting.
Well, that
That
happens in my house all the time.
Mm.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but I can buy something and put it right in front of people's faces and just set it one more piece of my home, and people will walk by it and walk by it and walk by it, and then one day they'll be like, did you just buy this, when it's really been sitting there for 2 years?
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know about it, you don't necessarily see it. It just doesn't even comprehend in your brain that it's there.
That's basically what they're saying. The gurus say that.
Yeah.
But I know it's there because I bought it and I have reaction to it. So I'm like, oh, everybody sees this. It's so pretty. And then nobody sees it except for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone lives in their own reality. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And even this podcast, I mean, we are all experiencing a different reality. Even though we're all right here together, we're not having the same experience.
exactly.
Yeah. We're all back at what's the name of the place in the Matrix where the guy's controlling all of us? We're all sitting back in our chairs right now. We just
Oh
have
yeah.
been we have been unhooked.
Mhm. There's a way to wake up. So,
Oh
but,
my gosh. Well, believe it or not, we're almost at an hour. So we are going to start closing this down. It's just been a really interesting conversation. We've talked about a lot of different concepts. Thank you to all of you for just sitting here with us and sharing this with everybody out there. I encourage all of you to look these two subjects up if you haven't already. And if you have, I encourage you to learn even more about it because you can never, never know enough, especially
mhm.
in this time, this age, this era. With that being said, please like, follow, and share. I promise we'll be back again, and have a good night. Bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.